Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the general meeting of the LPG Residents Association. I'd like to call this meeting to order. And if you haven't already gotten your 50/50 raffle ticket, put your hand up in the air. Bob is walking around doing those right now. We will do that after we close the meeting. And we also have a gift card that one person will win that gift card. And that will also be done when we do the raffle. And you must be present to win. Okay, if you would all like to stand, we'd like to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, I would like to introduce the board members to you all. And if I could please have the board members stand when I introduce you, that would be great. My name is Peggy Marcone. I'm the president. And over here we have Sue Smith. She is our first vice president. Thank you, Sue. And next to her is our second vice president, Donna Mueller. Thank you, Donna. And over on the end, on the other side, we have Pam Williams. She is our treasurer. Very important position. And next to me here, we have our secretary, Dee Hammond. This has been a great board. I'm really enjoying working with them all. A lot of input. So things are going very well. So first of all, we have changed it a little bit. It used to be that the minutes to the previous meeting were posted on the website, and then we just asked for approval of those at the next meeting. And we found that people were not reading the minutes, and they didn't have an opportunity to give any feedback if there was any. So we decided what we would do is at each meeting, we'll read the minutes of the previous meeting and then call for the vote for acceptance on those. So Dee Hammond, our secretary, she is going to now get up and read the minutes to you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dee Hammond. I'm the secretary. I'm reading the minutes from February 3rd, 2022. The meeting was called to order at 9:30, presided by President Peggy Marcone. All board members were present, and there were 34 community members in attendance. Peggy just introduced the board, so I'm not going to do that again. The minutes for December 2nd, 2021 for the LPGRA monthly meeting was read by Dee Hammond, secretary, and it was approved. The treasurer's report, the previous balance was $768.95. Deposits included in previous balance was $62.60. Recycling for December 2021 and $200.54 for recycling for January 2022. Expenses were $60 for gift cards purchased reimbursed to Pam Williams, $45 website update for Shane McNeil, $200 donation to Sunshine Acres, and $200 donation to the Phoenix Veterans Home. The total expenditures were $505. The current balance as of January 31st, 2022 was $550.20. The treasurer's report and all expenses were approved. Old business, Neighborhood Watch. Peggy Marcone went over my Neighborhood Watch for Sally Nostrand. Number one, things are going well in the community. 2, still looking for street captains. 3, per the Mesa Police Department, we live in one of the safest communities in Mesa. 4, now is the time of year to let your street captains help you organize a quote-unquote street party to get to know your neighbors. 5, the next Neighborhood Watch meeting was held on Tuesday, February 8th at 3 p.m. in the ballroom. The newsletter, LPGRA Observer, Peggy Marcone went over that. Number 1, February's Observer will be out before Valentine's Day. Recycling by Peggy Marcone. Reminder that recycling is for clear plastic bottles and cans only. Recycling is going well. AMHO, Peggy Marcone. AMHO membership is $35 per year or $60 for 2 years, includes 2 people per household. Membership dues go to lobbyists representing owners of modular homes in legislature. Registration form in the back of the room for anyone wanting to attend the 35th annual meeting of members held Saturday, March 5th, 2022. Open items by Peggy Marcone. Leases. There's no further information at this time. Leases will be effective January 1st, 2022. Everything in your current lease is renewed automatically. Quote unquote draft of lease is available at office upon request. Dogs, please notify office of your dogs. It appears that management is unaware of some dogs in the community. Reminder to clean up after your pet and keep them on a leash. City of Mesa has a leash law that includes licensing and covers our community. Green waste. After further consideration and due to cost, cameras and signage will not be placed at green waste area. Courtesy patrol. There are 1 to 2 new patrol officers. Welcoming by officers has improved. New business. Pool coverage. Concerned that pool was not being covered at night and was too cold for early morning classes. It has been established that the pool is being covered and the temperature was raised. Recycling glass. Suggestion was brought before management for a non-resident to install glass recycling in the community. Management was unwilling to allow a glass recycling setup due to a non-resident having access to the green waste area and a concern of broken glass. Resident questions, concerns, suggestions. Management of forms. Donna Mueller, second vice president, will be responsible for receiving, taking to management, and responding to form submitter. Resident questions, comments form, request for access to fillable forms on website. Board will research feasibility. 3, speed bumps. Suggestion made to slow traffic. This has been brought up in the past and will not be allowed. Potential for slowing down emergency vehicles was a concern. Green waste contractor sign-in form. Suggestion for courtesy patrol at main gate to have contractors sign a form stating they understand correct use of the green waste receptacle. A further suggestion was this should be responsibility of the construction office. Starting price of homes banner. Suggestion made for banners to have more current pricing. Banners are marketing items for the property. American flag. Concern that the flag has not been flying at front entrance for several weeks due to broken pulley. Replacement supplies have been purchased, awaiting attachment due to height of flagpole. The next general meeting is March 3rd, 2022, 9:30 in the ballroom, live streamed on YouTube and recorded by Larry Smith. Next board meeting is February 10th, 2021, 9:30 a.m. in Craft Room. Board meetings are closed meetings, open only to board members and management. Motion to adjourn. The meeting was adjourned at 10:39 a.m. Respectfully submitted, February 10th, 2022, by D. Hammond, Secretary.
Thank you, Dee. Does anyone have any comments or questions? Okay, can I have a motion to accept the minutes as they were read? Thank you. Second on that motion? All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, they were accepted as written. Okay, and next we have our treasurer's report, and that will be done by Pam Williams.
Good morning. The beginning balance as of January 31st, 22 is $550.20, excuse me. We had deposits from the 50/50 from 2/4 of $27.50. We had recycling deposits for the month of February totaling $121.60. For a total of $149.10 for the total deposits. We had no expenditures for February with a total of, as of February 28th, $699.30. Any questions? Thank you.
Okay, can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report? Thank you, and a second? Thank you. All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, those are accepted as written, or as reported. Okay, next on our agenda is the committee information. We have, the board oversees certain committees for the Residents Association. One of them is the Neighborhood Watch. I'm sure you've heard a lot about Neighborhood Watch program. It's up and running very well. They have changed their meetings to the second Tuesday every other month. They're no longer every single month. Things are up and running, so we don't feel that it's necessary to meet every single month. We are still looking for street captains. And I think people think that it's a job. It isn't. If you're friendly, if you like to welcome people, you know, and just be, I guess I would say if you're a social person, please talk to Sally Norstrand. She is the director or the chairman of that committee. She is looking for quite a few street captains. I think we have 28 captains at the current time. We need close to 80 in order to cover the entire community. So if you're at all interested, please call her and just chat with her. See if it's something you might be interested in. It's very easy to do. I'm a street captain, and it's all I did is greet my neighbors, and if they have any problems, I gave them a sheet of paper that tells them what to do. If they have questions, they can call me. That's it. So it's very easy. Next on there is the newsletter. And so I thought I'd let you know, our next newsletter, you need to have your submission in by May 1st. And our chairman of that is Sue Smith. And she came up with a great suggestion. Let us know what your summer plans are. Where are you going for vacation? Are you doing anything with your kids or grandkids or great-grandkids? So just let us know. Some of us travel vicariously through those that actually do travel. So we like to read about those things. Recycling. Recycling is becoming an issue, and I don't want this to be an issue. People within the community have not been following the rules. And when things get to be a mess in there, management is notified, and they talk to us about the fact that the community is not participating the way we told them they would participate. So we have currently the plastic bottles, which are your water bottles, your clear water bottles, your pop bottles that are clear or green, those are okay, and nothing else. And aluminum cans, and we ask that you please rinse them out. There are people, volunteers in our community that go down there and empty those bags. We don't want them to have to put up with all the sticky stuff from pops and other things, other cans. It also attracts bees, and we don't want anybody having a problem with bees down there. So if you would please rinse out your aluminum cans when you throw them in there. And I have here a bag of acceptables. This is acceptable. This is a pop bottle. Our water bottles that are clear, they're great. You can put those in the plastic waste. This is not a clear beverage bottle. This is not acceptable. This also is not a clear plastic container. These are not acceptable at all. You know, I mean, that's black. It's not clear. The top is clear. It's not an acceptable container. Sorry about the noise there. And this is not an acceptable container. This is a milk jug. Early last month, it was actually the week after the Super Bowl. There were 40 bottles like this in the plastic container. We're not complaining about one that gets in there. Okay, somebody made a mistake. But when there's 40 in 3 barrels, that is not acceptable. That week, they actually had to shut the green waste area because it was a mess. Bottles and cans were dumped on the ground in front of the barrels. They were put in little plastic bags in front of the barrels. We can't do this. So when people bring up that they want glass and they want cardboard, management sees how we're doing with plastic and aluminum. And it's up to the community, the residents of the community, to make sure that this works. I think it's a great program. I really appreciate the work that Alan Smith and his crew, I mean, he has people that he has brought together. Bob Williams is one of them, that they go down there and they clean things up for us. They haul the stuff to the recycling centers. So I think they've done a really great job, and it helps the residents at large, because that's the money that we use to do things like update the website, get the minutes on there, and get the announcements on there. Donations to nonprofit organizations, things like this. That all comes from that money. It's not going to Thesman, it's going to the residents of this association. The other thing I want to bring up is twice we've had bags of aluminum cans taken. Somebody saw a way to make, I don't know, some money and walked away with the bags. The first one they did return them. They didn't understand the situation, returned them, but the second one, we have no idea who took that bag of aluminum cans. So that's not for personal use, that is for the entire community. All of the residents of this community benefit from what funds we're able to get by recycling there. So I would just ask, spread the word, talk to your neighbors, maybe obviously they're not here in the meeting. I'm talking to the choir here, but talk to your neighbors and let them know what is and isn't acceptable, just to have a nice friendly conversation with them. Sorry about that. At the end, yes. Sorry about the noise there. So anyway, I just asked for help on the recycling. We are working on a sign. We asked back in, I believe it was October, to get a sign, and the board witnessed Todd Lutz ordering that sign as we sat there. We were very excited. Well, then in November, December, and January, the COVID situation was really bad at the 5 communities within the people that work here. So Todd apologized profusely and said he was so wrapped up in running from one community to another to cover shortages that he said, I dropped the ball, plain and simple. I just dropped it. I'm so sorry. So he said that he's working on that again. He wants the sign for the green waste area made immediately. Hopefully we'll get that really soon. He is still working on cameras. We thought the cameras were a dead deal, and he said no, he wants the cameras in there. He's tried 2 different cameras in the past. It didn't work. So he said this time he's going for something a little bit more upgraded than what he's tried in the past. We feel that that would help. He wants to wait, as far as someone had suggested, having a form filled out by any contractor coming in, saying that they realize that they're not to dump in there. But he said he would rather wait on that and see what the cameras and the sign do in the first place. Problem being that if they do have them sign a form, if that contractor does dump in there anyway, and it comes to light that he's done that, it can actually go back to the homeowner legally. And we don't want that kind of stuff either. So we're hoping the cameras and the sign will take care of this issue completely. And I am not going to put this on the closed item list until we actually have the sign up and get a definitive answer on the cameras. So we'll keep you updated on that. AMHO, they do have a website that you can go to. It is aamho.org. And that is also up on the screen here for those of you that are watching at YouTube. I would strongly recommend that you join AMHO. And as Dee read in the minutes there, it is $35 for 1 year, $60 for 2 years, and it covers the address, not how many people are in there, but the actual address is covered. So anyone that's living there has the rights that AMHO presents for us. They represent us in front of the legislature. There was a vote this week to modify a bill that was going in because something had been neglected. There was a little bit of a verbiage that needed to be changed, and they needed to have the AMHO the people in the legislature support AMHO on this and sign it into law. So these things are ongoing. And these are the things that affect us as homeowners here at LPG. We are all manufactured home owners, so it's wise to support the companies that will help you and be there in case anything, any issues come up. We do have on the back table, Pam Williams, our secretary, is in charge of, she is our liaison with AMHO. She has a lot of pamphlets back there on the table as you're exiting out through the main doors. Pick it up, read it, and please join AMHO. It would really be helpful. And then I had some general information. Next week is spring break for kids. So oops, sorry. The weather's not going to be as great as it was this week, so it may alleviate some of these issues, but The pool. We hear about the pool, the pool, the pool. The pool is open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. unless there's a special arrangement, that the community is doing some special party or movie or something there. The children's hours, they are 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And it's not 10:45 a.m., it's 11 a.m. And it's not 1:30 p.m. that they have to leave, it's 1 p.m. And then at 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. That's every day. They have 4 hours every day that they can use the pool. We just ask that people would please abide by the rules for that. Children under the age of 16 are not permitted in the swimming pool area at all unless they have a resident with them. And the spa, actually, it's an Arizona law. It's not a Thesman rule. It's an Arizona law that children under 16 are not allowed in a spa. And that comes from the American Pediatric Association, something like that. Pediatricians have decided it's bad for children's hearts to be in a spa for any length of time at all. It was just reported to me 2 days ago that someone had their 2-year-old in the spa. That's just, I'm sorry, it's bad parenting or bad grandparenting, whatever. Please do not allow your children under age 16 are not allowed in the spa. There is no running, jumping, or diving for adults or children. I've seen some people take a run and jump into the pool. That's residents, by the way, running and jumping into the pool. Flips off the sides, those things aren't allowed either. And please be considerate, some people don't like to have all of a sudden a football come and splash in front of them because they're playing catch with their grandkids or others in the pool. So please be considerate. And all guests must be accompanied by an LPG resident. It's not, grandma can sit at home and send daughter and grandchildren down to the pool to have a grand old time. Grandma's got to be there with them. So the resident needs to be with the guest. And if the rules aren't being followed, the courtesy patrol and also management does have the right to come and ask you to leave the area. So the hot weather's coming. We really want to enjoy the pool and enjoy each other. So please just follow the rules, and I think we'll all get along just great. And then the open items list. The things that were brought up at the meeting last month were presented to management when we had our meeting. And, I forgot to tell you. If you see something happening at the pool that needs to be reported, if you go to where the bathrooms are, there's a phone on the wall. And I think it says something like guard or something like that on it. That's for the courtesy patrol. You just pick it up, they'll answer, you tell them what's going on, they'll come down and take care of it. You don't need to address it. If you just, I know people don't want to address it, and I understand that. But if you report it, you don't have to address it. You just report it and let management or the courtesy patrol take care of it, and it's done. Nobody knows who did it, okay? Thank you, Sue. Okay, so the things that were mentioned at the last meeting for open items, I wanted to address those and the results that we received from management. One question was, okay, so we can't have speed bumps. What can we do about the speeders? The suggestion was made, can't we get a speed sign? We do have one that shows what your speed is as soon as it picks it up. That sign, they have one for the community, and it's moved around regularly. And it's usually put on the streets that have the worst problem. I know it's frequently on 5th Street, and I'm thankful for that. 5th Street is the only street that goes all the way from Juniper Hills to Palm Circle with no stop signs, no interruptions, just a straight drive. So it's a busy street, and we get it on there frequently, but I've seen it on 13th, I've seen it on 11th and 12th, I've seen it on Juniper Hills, I've seen it in the entranceway. I think if you come in the main entrance, you've seen it at times, and they're warning people as they come in, hey, we're a 15-mile-per-hour community. And the funny part is most of the offenders are residents. So, it's just one of those things. So that we do have that speed sign. I did already tell you about the green waste.
I want to comment that.
We were going to hold our questions and comments until the end, if that's okay.
Okay, it was just referring to the speed, is they said, the management says we can't have speed bumps. Why not? There's no law.
Okay, we talked about it last month. There was a gentleman here that talked about, he's a resident here, but he had worked in some type of a traffic control type of thing. And he said that yes, it can cause damage to cars, and it also slows down any emergency vehicles, whether it's police, fire, ambulance, it slows them down. And he says it might only be a few seconds, but we know that a few seconds can matter between life and death for some people, especially seniors are more susceptible to those types of emergency situations. We do have a lot of times the ambulances in here, the first responders are going through here, and they cannot go over those speed bumps with any kind of speed. So, and Michael Fessman said, no, he's not going to put them in. So that ends that.
It's just the excuses they're giving you. I've worked in law enforcement. I was EMT. The fire department thing, I don't buy that. Number two, I think the lives or accidents that you may not save. I moved in here 3 years ago.
Mhm.
This is my worst thing about this whole, I love this place when I used to come in and be here for other events and stuff. But since I moved in, management here is terrible. It is not. They do not have our interest, our safety in mind at all. I worked for Cal-Am Industries, which has many of the RV parks around here. We used to put in temporary speed bumps and move them around month to month, so people didn't know where they were at, and they would have to slow down. Is it going to take somebody to be hit by a car, somebody to be hit by an intersection and maimed, or worse, before something's done? It's the same thing with the security in here. We have we need to hold these comments till the end, though. One thing I would like to address that you said is that management is terrible here. I know I totally disagree with you. I work with them on a regular basis, and I think the other 4 board members would agree with you on that also. I know that it's difficult when we see something like speeding. I hate it. I live on 5th Street, and I see the speeders. And sometimes I recognize the person that's doing it every single day, racing up my street, and they're a resident here. This is not management. This is the responsibility of the individual residents that live here to abide by the rules. And why should management be responsible for that? The other thing is management cannot give out tickets. Residents cannot give out tickets, and we do not have a police patrolling in here to look for speeders. They're the only ones that could give out a ticket for someone speeding in here. And I'll go back to the speed bumps. Personally, I hate speed bumps. We, as a board, went and visited another community that has speed bumps in their community. And we were just having kind of like a roundtable discussion about comparing communities. I thank God I live here, I'll tell you. They have speed bumps in there, and their first complaint was speeders with the speed bumps in there. And their speed limit is 20 miles an hour. Ours is 15. We have problems with speeders. So the speed bumps were doing nothing. We did at one meeting ask the residents that were in attendance
how many people here would be in favor or be opposed to speed bumps? And I would say 90% of the people that were here put their hands up. They don't want them. And Michael Thesman doesn't want them.
They don't want them until somebody they know or somebody in their family is going to get hurt.
There has been,
I have seen.
okay,
Early in the morning, when you had the machine over on the street the dog walk is on, the same guy drives a white Ford pickup, he does construction in this thing.
Okay.
I pulled him over in my golf cart 3 times. That machine registered him doing 32 miles an hour down that street.
Okay, we need to bring this, okay. We need to bring this up later. We will discuss that. If you want to come up afterwards and discuss that with us, I'd be more than happy to discuss it with you. The thing is that we all have to understand is there's things we want that management will not give us. It doesn't mean that management is bad. It just means that that's the decision that has been made. And we can disagree with it, but I go back to when I ran for office the first time, it was, I wanted everyone here to be as happy living here as I am living here. And so I like to look at the positive on this. This is not bad management. Management does not make the final decision. Michael Thesman does. And if Michael Thesman's decisions offend you, then maybe a Thesman community is not, the type of place that you want to live in. And I know Arizona is a good place to choose from. There's hundreds and hundreds of other communities, that are 55 plus. But I just think it's important to know that we're not the only ones that have a speed problem. They have a speed problem at every single community where the speed limit is less than the streets outside, which is usually 45. So we just have to be careful, be cognizant of what the rules are, and hopefully get more people on board to follow it. Okay, we'll move on. We received a complaint regarding the grates that are they're on Juniper Hills. They are on that wall that separates us from the expressway. There's grates there, and on either end, some of them have openings where they thought that perhaps a small adult or an animal could crawl in. So we brought it up, and Todd Lutz looked at it, and he said, the problem being is we don't own that. ADOT does. That's their wall, that's their grates. There was a broken one that was a real problem because we found a bunch of teenagers in here enjoying the basketball court. So that one was fixed immediately. But the other ones, he has put in a request to ADOT, and we'll see how long that takes. It's gone to government. A suggestion was made, I already discussed that, about the contractors having to sign forms. We're waiting for cameras for that. A suggestion was made that we would open up suggestions to the residents for donations to be made to nonprofit organizations. And we really like that idea. So there's a lot of ways that you can do it. You can phone any board member. You can email any board member. You can fill out one of our request, compliment, complain, concern forms. Put your suggestions on there. What we're going to do is we're going to pool them all together. We make the donations in December, and we'll bring that up at our November meeting for a vote to see what people think, and we'll take it from there. So that'll be ongoing for the entire year. So, the rest of this year, just please make your suggestions to us so that we can present them to everyone in the community. Yes, ma'am. Yes, the suggestions should be in writing, so don't call us. Sorry. Let paper remember so you can forget. That's my phrase. All right. Collection for the Lions Club. Someone had asked, does anybody collect old glasses? Yes, we do. We made quite a donation last year of used eyeglasses, sunglasses, and hearing aids. They do take all of them, they refurbish them, and they give them to citizens that aren't able to afford them. So if you have any of those laying around, even if they're just readers and you don't use them anymore, please donate, and we take them to someone in the community that is a member of Lions Den or Lions Club, and they take care of it from there. Okay, so that's always open. Questions about the front entrance, the flag. That is still in the works. What happened was the pulley at the top broke. So you can't just take a rope, attach it to the rope that's there and pull it through, because the pulley doesn't work. So it was a new pulley, a new rope, and I think they got a new flag too. Someone in the community did purchase those items, but they purchased the wrong length of rope. So management has purchased the correct rope, and was also stated that the fire department offered to take care of that for us, except that legally the fire department cannot do that, because they were contacted and they said, no, sorry, we spoke out of turn, can't do that. So management is looking for a company to come and repair that. So the other side of the problem is when the flagpole was put up, this was a brand new community, and they put up a really tall one so that people could find it. Well, now it's a really tall one, and there aren't a lot of businesses that will come and do something like that have a ladder that can go up that high, or a lift or whatever. So they were in the process, as of our last board meeting with them, they were waiting for one more bid on the job. They had 2 already. They were getting one more bid, and then they were going to just go with it. And then they get on the waiting list to get it done. So it is in the works. They are working on it. It's one of those things. So it also is costing quite a bit over $1,000 just to have the lift come here to repair it. That's not including the man hours or anything. That's just bringing something here that's that tall to replace the flag. The board has been working on adding all of the email addresses of every resident that's listed in the telephone directory. Or some that are unlisted have been added because people personally requested to be added to the email list. So we've been working on that. We have about 471 members currently. And we have about 421 members that we're still waiting on. So we're still working on that list, trying to get everyone. So when the board has information, or I know I get AMHO meeting notes or just a bi-monthly, I think it is, report from them. I send those out to everyone so that you can see what's going on. You might get 1 a month, maybe 2 in 1 month. That's it. So it's not going to be flooding you with emails from the board, but it'll give you pertinent information that you may be interested in. If you're not currently getting an email from the board, I just sent one out about this meeting today with a link. If you're not getting that, please let us know and we will add you immediately. That has been quite a job. When it was set up with the email addresses, but no names. So we didn't know who any of the emails belonged to unless it was like, mine is P. Marcone. So you would know that that's Peggy Marcone. But then we have ones that are like, 429 LPG. I don't know anybody in here named 429. So we had to compare every single email address. There were at that point 583, I think it was. We had to compare every one of those addresses to the phone book, going and looking down the line. Can we find this email address anywhere in here? We had to go to past directories to see if perhaps those people moved out. So when we finished that, we were down to 421 from 583. And now we're adding 421 more. So it's been quite a job. We started working on this in the middle of January, and here we are in the beginning of March. It's not finished yet because it's a job. So, yes. Okay. I have a paper up here. For those at home, you can't see it, but you can't sign it at home either. It has name, lot number, and email address, and number down the side. If you're not on the email address listing and you want to be added, put it on here, and we will add you. A request was made to change the signs outside of the community to reflect more of the actual cost of homes within the community. They were changed from 70,000. It says homes from the 70s was the old sign. The new one says homes from the 80s. And the person that brought it up said that they wanted it homes from the hundreds. There are homes in here that you can buy in the 80s. They, believe it or not, they are one bedroom. They're very small, but they are in the 80s. So they do advertise homes in the 80s. They said, you know, as things are progressing, if it keeps going the way it is, eventually those will probably be selling in the 90s. But currently, they are selling homes in the 80s, so the signs will stay as they are. Let me make sure I covered everything here. Oh, recycling. A gentleman stood up last month and said that there is a recycling place in Queen Creek that you can take items to. I was looking at the website, and in there it says Queen Creek residents can recycle here. And there's an address. And there's also some type of a recycling, I don't know what I would call it. It's like a special event, thank you, that they're having for recycling. It is in Queen Creek. There is a website that you can go to register for this. You register for your time slot. You load up your vehicle, you go down there and you drop off your recyclables. They will take them out of your car. You're not allowed to exit your car. They ask that you please don't put things in plastic bags or bins that you want back. You just have to kind of let them take everything. So the address is queencreekaz.gov/recycle. And that's up on the screen now for those of you at home. This event is going to occur on Wednesday, the registration opens on Wednesday, March 9th. That's when you can select the time slot that you want to take your stuff down there. The actual event is not until April 9th. So you sign up on March 9th and for April 9th. And there is also one in Mesa, and we've talked about this before. My husband and I used this for a microwave and some other things that we had, I think some paint and things like that that we wanted to get rid of. And that one is it's called Household Hazardous Materials Facility. Their address is 2412 North Center Street, building number 2, Mesa, Arizona. And you enter on through Lehigh Road to get into that. They're only open from Wednesday to Saturday from 7 a.m. until noon. When we went there, we didn't get out of the car. We just drove up, opened up the back. They took everything out, said, have a nice day, and we drove away. It's as easy as can get. And they take a lot of stuff. They take hot water heaters. They take electronics. They take microwaves, cardboard, those type of glass. They'll take all of it. So that's another idea for people that want to recycle things more than just their plastic bottles or their aluminum cans. And I really think recycling is a really important thing, and I really think that we should try to participate in that as much as possible. If you're someone that's housebound or don't want to drive that far, talk to your neighbors and see if there's somebody else that might be going that way that might be able to help you out with it. So, okay, so that is the end of my list. And now I would like to open it to residents' questions and comments. Yes, Bud.
You want the microphone?
Oh, yeah. Hold on just a second. Wait. No, she's going to them. Remember that. We can't.
For those of you who have electronic items like TVs or computer equipment or something like that, check with Tim Most at 747, I believe it is, or 757, that they take it, and what they do is their church, the men at the church break it down to take out anything that is of valuable, like gold, silver, platinum, metals that can be recycled. Also, if you have wire, any kind of wire that you want to get rid of, electrical cords and that, they take it out for the copper.
Mhm.
They will strip it down and salvage the copper out of it. So it does not go into the waste dumps, but gets recycled. But check with Tim Most.
Okay, thank you. I do want to say that we were down at the green waste dropping off our bottles, and I noticed a large screen TV and also one of those old TVs with the big backs on them, because it still has the tubes, I think, in it. One of those was there. There was a bed, I'm not sure if it was a full-size or queen-size bed, mattress, box springs, and the complete frame, a hot water heater, and I forget, a microwave. They were in the green waste bin. So, people say they want to recycle, but then we find things like that. That's not recycling.
That's not green.
It's not green. Okay.
Yeah.
Hank?
Thank you. I was going to say something about a sign for the recycling area, but evidently that's being handled. Not sure how long that will take, but perhaps some of our local artists could, paint a handmade sign,
Yeah,
they won't allow that?
no. Thesman has their standard color themes and,
Okay. got it.
everything like that they use on it. We do have signs on the barrels,
I see those.
and you see how well they're followed.
Right.
Okay, so,
Exactly. And regarding security, one of the communities here that's not a Thesman community has security, and these are paid people. Not sure that our corporate would allow us to hire security people that would be paid, that are trained to do a lot of the activities as it pertains to security, but it might be something to find out. And of course, corporate would have to make that decision. I think
Right.
we have a phenomenal management team here. This is preaching to the choir, but we all know that our management, they're enforcers. If any changes are going to be made about anything, speeding, speed bumps, it's corporate that has to do that. So I think it's
Right.
preaching to the choir, but we all know that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah, it's not management, it's corporate. There are different levels, so we have management on site. Corporate is not here. There was something else you said. Oh, wait,
Okay.
excuse me, just 1 second. I wanted to address the security thing. We have courtesy patrol. We don't have security guards. They don't carry, they don't have the authority to arrest anyone. They don't have the authority to give out a ticket. They are not armed. They don't have handcuffs, none of that stuff. If we want, they're greeters, basically, and they do log license plates and stuff like that for the police if needed. If the cost of a security company to come in here is high, Thesman would not eat that. It would be passed on to all the residents, justifiably so. If we're going to live here and require, security, then we're going to pay for it. I know over across the street at Augusta Ranch, they wanted to hire security there. They did, and the residents pay for it. It's not through their management or their corporate office. And I'll tell you what the police department says about this community. One of the safest communities in Mesa. Mesa's huge, and we are one of the safest communities. There's very little criminal activity that takes place in here. I know if you look at spot crime, I know there were 2 things that were posted on there. One was a false alarm, and the other one was about a car that had been stolen that wasn't stolen. It had been sold. So, I mean, it's, but those things aren't, that was definitely there, that we could read those things and think, oh, somebody's car got stolen, but it wasn't. but they never tell us what the result of it was. They only say that that call came through. So you have to be very cautious when you're looking at spot crime to understand it, that both of those actually were actually nothing. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Bud.
Yeah, with regard to speed bumps accomplish one thing. The people slow down to go over the bump, and then they speed up to make up the lost time.
I know. That's true. Okay, anyone else? Questions, comments, anything that they'd like us to bring up to management? Okay. If you could state your name too when you,
This is Greg Beasley. Every time people are tailgating golf carts.
oh. Yeah, I know. It makes me nervous. And I know golf carts, most golf carts don't go over 15 miles an hour. And that's why they're getting tailgated, because they're actually obeying the rules. And there's somebody behind them that doesn't want to obey the rules, so they tailgate. Please be careful. It's just, there's a lot of golf carts in this community. And I wish there was something that said golf carts have the right of way over a vehicle, because people need to slow down. You really do need to slow down. I think it's been more noticeable lately because we have all of our winter visitors here too. So this is the most congested time of the year at all of the communities. So there's more vehicles, and we just, I think we notice it more too. So anyone else? Yes,
Again,
name and,
Dan Mrauzinski, I'm in 631.
okay,
You say low crime, my thing, and that's my neighbor over there, Mrs. Nations.
yes.
Last summer, I got reprimanded because my truck was being stolen. My dog woke me up. My truck was being stolen. I ended up going out with a handgun, which I'm licensed to carry. I used to work in law enforcement. I know what to do. I confronted the person. They took off and ran down the street, of course. Knowing what I know, I'm not going to shoot anybody in the back. They ran between two other houses. When they got down there, they yelled, "Run, he's got a gun." By that time, the Mesa police were there. They had 3 cars in the park looking for them. Never heard anything else about it. But I got reprimanded from management here that they do not want residents walking around with firearms. They don't want, I said, you do not want me to protect my home or my things. You don't want me to protect my truck. They do not want you to do that. This management is reactive. They are not going to do anything preventative. They are reactive. It's going to take somebody to be hit on their golf cart by a car. It's going to take somebody to be out walking at dusk and be hit by a car. It's going to take how many older widows do we have in this park that live alone? When their house is broke into and something happens to them, then we'll get some kind of action. That is what I mean by bad management. We have nothing preemptive. Everything is reaction. This past week, I stopped 3 teenagers from coming in the Guadalupe gate after dark. It's still light. It's still pretty dark at 8 o'clock here when the gate closes. A car went through. 3 teenagers came through walking right after the car went through. I chased them back out, went home. I called the front gate and said, we have 3 teenagers at the Guadalupe gate trying to come in the park. Why are you calling me? Is what I got. You need to call the Mesa police.
Okay, that is a police issue. That's not a courtesy patrol issue.
I understand.
Okay.
But the police aren't going to come for 3 kids standing outside the gate.
Yeah.
They have much more to do than that.
Everything is prioritized in the police department. I understand that.
But I'm not saying there's an answer, but there's something that needs to be done somehow. I don't have the answer. I'm just giving you the information. There's also times when I go out early in the morning on a bicycle ride. The Guadalupe gate, pedestrian gate, is propped open. Or the magnetic latch, there's a piece of cardboard put in there so it doesn't latch. And I've notified management, I've notified the maintenance department, and they say, that happens all the time. Nothing gets done. Sometimes though, and I understand talking to people on our courtesy patrol and that sometimes the residents in this park are their worst enemy. We need somehow to put this information out there so everybody knows what's going on, and we can make a unified decision of everybody doing something, not
Okay.
just,
Okay,
30 people.
I want to address that and say, number one, the teens coming through the gate, that definitely is a police issue, not our courtesy patrol. And Neighborhood Watch has been very open. I think they've given a lot of information out. We've had them at the meetings. At these meetings, we had them regularly coming in. Sally came in and gave reports and suggestions. We've had the police department in here talking about, how to report and stuff like that. They have a non-emergency number and they have an emergency number. And if you don't know which one to call, you call 911 and they will transfer you to the non-emergency if that's where you're supposed to be. But we're encouraging people, all residents, if you see something, say something. And if it's something like you call the courtesy patrol, you should, and he says, call the police. Yes, call the police. Don't be afraid to call the police. They want us to report suspicious activity. And that's in all of the paperwork that we've shared about Neighborhood Watch. Report suspicious activity. If you're really not comfortable with doing that, or you don't want to do that, at least call your Neighborhood Watch. Either if you have a street captain, call your street captain. And if not, call Sally Nostrand. Sally has said, if you don't have somebody else to call me, I will address it for you. So the Neighborhood Watch program is like a backup to our courtesy patrol. So it goes police, because security, or the courtesy patrol, and then Neighborhood Watch and resident. There's different avenues that we can take to try and make ourselves safer. But I will say, I knew about the incident with your truck and all that stuff. Those things happen. There's 830 homes in here. 2 years ago, during July 4th weekend, we had a truck stolen, recovered the next day with 180 miles additional on it. It was just kids, grabbed it. The keys were in the truck was unlocked. There it was. They took off. They had a ball. But as far as actual incidences that are police investigations and require like you said, the 3 cars coming, very, very seldom. Maybe once a year, twice a year. I think if you went to any residential community in Arizona, you would probably, in fact, according to Spot Crime, it happens even more frequently at Augusta Ranch and the one I forget the name of it, that's on the other side of the 202. So again, I'm going to say, we do have safety measures in place here. We do ask residents to participate at different levels, but never to jeopardize your safety. Walking outside with a gun, you gave your experience, but at one point they were saying they were going to walk with guns to protect themselves against coyotes. Our houses are so close together. What if you miss? What if you hit your neighbor? Would you want that on your mind for the rest of your life, that you killed your neighbor or shot your neighbor? And it's illegal to discharge a firearm in the city of Mesa. We are part of the city of Mesa. We do have to abide by their rules. So it is not allowed to fire a gun within the city limits. If you're being directly assaulted, you know, where your life is in danger, that's another thing, but I'll tell you, you're going through the courts for it. But to just walk out and threaten someone with a gun or shoot someone with a gun, you are liable, you will be arrested. And that will be a very big change in your lifestyle.
Well, anybody that's took a gun class and been certified knows everything that you just said.
And you don't need to do that in Arizona. Take the class.
No,
Right.
not to get, no.
Right,
For a concealed weapons permit, yes.
right.
To carry a weapon, no, you
Right.
don't have to do
Right.
that.
Yep.
But the whole overall thinking is, what can we do to prevent something from happening before it happens?
Where
Now, if
there's,
you tell me that I shouldn't go out with my gun, I have a home 2 doors down that we have all handicapped sisters living together. If somebody came in this park, and 2 summers ago was different because COVID was out and there were a lot of people hurting. But if you've ever dealt with people that are looking to feed their children and stuff because they don't have a job and things are tight and they're gonna do whatever they need to do to feed people or
right.
whatever. Somebody breaks in a home like that. How do we stop that?
We don't.
And if that happens down the street, and I know about it, I will go down there with my firearm and
That's
try
your-
and prevent it.
Okay, that's your personal decision to make, and you have the freedom to do that. I just want people to understand, I just want people to understand that it is against the law to discharge a firearm within the city limits of Mesa. And you can carry a gun in the city of Mesa. You cannot concealed carry unless you're certified. You need the permit for it. So, but I don't think the majority of the people in here own guns. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But I think, right, and there's nothing wrong with owning a gun. It's, why do we need to do that? If somebody has, you know, that saying, where there's a will, there's a way. You can put up all the barriers in the world. I just read an article about 3 men that escaped from Alcatraz, the safest prison in the world. They had a goal, they did it. There was everything in effect. They had all kinds of security there, but they still were able to do it because they decided they were going to, and they accomplished it. So, you know, for us as senior citizens trying to live out the rest of our lives in a nice, a beautiful retirement community and enjoy ourselves, those things are not our priority, and it shouldn't be. It should be the police priority. It shouldn't be management priority. It shouldn't be courtesy guard priority. When you talk about crime, you know, cold-hearted crime, that is a police issue. Call the police. Report suspicious activity. I can't say that enough. We have had an increase in reported suspicious activity within the whole area, not just within our community here, but in this whole area. It has increased, and the police love that. Most of it is nothing. But if you're feeling unsafe, call the non-emergency number and have them come and check it out for you. So,
Again, everything you just said, call the police. That is after the fact,
you can't prevent
Thing.
it from happening. There's no way to prevent it.
but
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
think
okay.
your head's
I
gonna
think
be in the clouds if you don't make
Okay,
an
we-
attempt.
He said he doesn't
Some
have
kind-
any suggestions.
Even if we just had one other person at night, it's not gonna stop everything. But if you just had one other person on a golf cart at night riding the park. Just a resident? Another uniformed person may deter. I'm not saying it's gonna stop, but
Okay.
it may deter something
All right,
from
if you
happening.
would, please fill out one of the suggestion forms. We'll present this to management, but I think we need to move on. We're past, pardon? Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, it's getting late. It's after 10:30, I'm sorry. Okay, was there anything else that we need to bring up quick here and we'll, we have a motion to adjourn. Okay, we are adjourned. We will now say thank you and goodbye to our YouTube people and